Okay, so let's talk about how if you quit gambling, you can start building wealth. Now, it's been about 10 years now since I last was gambling on a regular basis. I quit somewhere in 2012, I think, so roughly 10, 11 years. And what happened was it took me an incredibly long time to build up my net worth and not really be wealthy per se, but to be stable financially. And whenever you start off in a position where you have some sort of gambling addiction, or maybe you're addicted to sports betting or horse racing, if you find yourself in a place where your finances are just going downhill, it's an incredibly difficult journey to bring that back up. But what you can do is if you make the promise to yourself to quit gambling, you can begin this journey of building wealth. And what happened for me was I was kind of stuck in the gambling world where I was going to the casino, I was playing poker, and I was even venturing out into like the casino table games where there's like blackjack and slots and roulette. I started to develop this gambling addiction over time. And it wasn't until I found myself betting on every single basketball game every single night that I realized like, oh man, I'm a junkie. I'm addicted to this stuff. And if I don't take care of my finances right here, right now, then it's gonna ruin my future. Like I could just tell by the trajectory that my life was headed, that it was just all gonna go downhill. So what really worked for me is to have the courage to realize that you have a problem. You need to first admit that you have some sort of gambling addiction or some kind of gambling compulsion so that you can find a way to fix that. And the way that I fixed this for me was to begin my own journey of self-improvement. Now, if you don't really know what self-improvement is, it's basically part of like the self-help niche. It's kind of like a category of books that you can read, which gives you a lot of concepts on how to break bad habits and incorporate good ones into your life. Or there is the whole motivational speaker type of subgroup where you get guys like Tony Robbins who have these great seminars where he gives these speeches to people where he gives them advice on how to better their life. So that's basically what like the self-improvement world is kind of like. And the way that I started doing this was I really changed my life by getting rid of my bad habits and then replacing them with good ones. So what I did was I got rid of my gambling habit, I got rid of my junk food habit, my video game habit, and my Netflix habit. So these were 4 very detrimental things that were affecting my life in a negative way. And what I wanted to do was I just wanted to become a better person. Like I wanted to get rid of the gambling, I wanted to get rid of the procrastination and the laziness and just being weak and unhealthy. So what I did was by quitting my bad habit of gambling and replacing it with something positive like going to the gym, this is what started this whole self-improvement journey. And this is what ultimately led me to overcoming my gambling addiction, is that I got addicted to a completely different thing, which was fitness and working out. And what happened was because I was so preoccupied and obsessed with going to the gym and my health and nutrition and the type of food I was eating, my mind was just preoccupied all the time with this new habit, this new obsession that I had. And what it did was I was getting that dopamine rush that you get from gambling from other things in life that were more positive, that didn't come with the negative financial consequences. Now, if you do have some sort of gambling problem or gambling addiction, the way that I got over it might not apply to you. Like everyone has to struggle in their own way. Everyone has to figure out their journey themselves. However, the way you start that though is you have to admit that you have a problem and you have to face that truth in your life. And the best way you can do that is getting some kind of support. Now, in all these YouTube videos, I always leave links in the description for hotlines or free websites you can ask for help, because sometimes you might be embarrassed to talk to a friend or you might be embarrassed to talk to your family members, right? Because this is like a problem that it's not fun to share with people you love, right? They're going to think you're a degenerate. They're going to think you're a loser. They're going to think you're just wasting your time and money gambling your life away. Like it's a very hard truth to admit to other people. And I know this because I went through it, right? I went through this whole situation where like, did I have a problem? I was going to the casino all the time. I was taking the bus there. I was driving even over the border sometimes to the US. And it was like, what am I doing? But if you can never pinpoint what your flaws are, if you can never pinpoint what your weaknesses are and what your addictions are in life, it's so hard to overcome them. So that is the very first step that you need to do, is to figure out what's wrong and find a solution to fix it. But once you do find a way to remove gambling from your life, now you have unlimited potential to earn wealth or make money or get your life back in order. Now, hopefully you haven't dug yourself a massive hole where you're deep in the red and maybe your credit cards are maxed out or maybe your credit is ruined. If you're in that situation in life, then you're definitely going to need to get some type of financial help, whether it is a gambling hotline, like a professional accountant or someone that really knows taxes, or maybe provincial or state legislation that can kind of help you in some way. Like, there has to be options for you and you have to go seek that out. But once you get your finances in order, no longer will you be wasting money in casinos or wasting money sports betting or whatever type of gambling you're doing on a regular basis. And now you can start to really build wealth. And this is so important, because just look at the economy right now. Like, look at the world that we're living in. Inflation is outpacing the rate at which wages increase. Gas prices are up. Food prices are crazy. Property taxes, rent, housing, mortgages, like everything is just, the cost of living nowadays is insane. It's so hard just to get by. And if you add a gambling expense to that, like, you're just compounding your problems financially in the long run. And it's going to be impossible to overcome. So once you quit the negative habits, once you remove the gambling from your life, now there is so much amazing potential for your future to build wealth. And I know this because it's taken me 10, 11 years to get to where I am now. All my credit cards are paid off. I have no debt, paid off my car, and the only kind of debt I have is this house that I'm in. Like, I have a mortgage. And aside from that, everything's okay, right? I'm okay financially, and now I'm able to build wealth and try to achieve my dream of financial freedom. And what's truly amazing is once you quit gambling, you'll realize how much money you actually have, because no longer will you have all these statements where your money is just being taken out to gambling websites or credit card bills or, sports betting lines. Like, once all that is removed and those companies and casinos aren't sucking you dry, all of a sudden I had this influx of income that I could use towards something. But now you can get into investing, right? You can get into investments or buying some type of property or buying assets that will give you returns over the long run. And so you have so many more options once you get rid of those negative financial habits that you have. And after that, what I really noticed was, once I got rid of the gambling from my life and I noticed that, I was wasting so much money on this one thing, I started to take my finances a lot more seriously in the other aspects of my life. I started to figure out hey, I don't care about clothes or fashion anymore. I can just wear these plain gray t-shirts. So I started saving money there too. I developed this minimalistic approach to life where I rejected materialism. I didn't care about trying to impress other people. I didn't want to buy designer clothes or designer shoes or drive a sports car or have any flashy items. Those materialistic possessions meant nothing to me. And I never would have realized that until I gave up my gambling addiction. So if you're watching this and you're going over some of your bank statements and you feel like there's no hope for you in the future, realize that you can do something about it if you act right now. And trust me, it's not going to be easy. This was a decade-long process for me, where from 27 to 37, I had to get my life in order. I had to figure out my finances all over again, right? I had to maybe get a job that I didn't want to get a second job that I didn't want to get, do the overtime that I didn't want to do. The choices that you have to make moving forward, none of them are going to be easy. They're all going to be incredibly difficult and they're going to suck. But if you can force yourself to just do them and overcome those obstacles, you will give yourself and your future a chance. And eventually you'll have this huge weight lifted off your shoulders where you'll breathe a sigh of relief because you're no longer sucked in by the casino. So I honestly hope that if you're watching this video and you're struggling with some sort of gambling addiction, that you can turn your life around and start to build some wealth. And if there's anything that I can do to help other people to remove these negative addictions from their life and start this journey of self-improvement, adopt this mindset of becoming a better person, removing your negative habits, removing your distractions from your life and adding the positive ones, being healthy, being financially responsible, making good decisions, just being a better person to your friends and family, right? Because at the end of the day, those are the people that are the most important in your life, right? It's your friends, it's your family, the people that love you, the people that you love, right? You want them to be happy. You want them to be happy for you. And if you continue down this dark road of gambling, you're never going to find wealth and happiness. which is something that I wish for everybody. So that's pretty much it. If you want to find out more about my self-improvement journey, you can watch a video right here. And remember that 1 year from now, you're going to be thankful you started today.